Today we're answering a big question, a common one that I get probably on a weekly basis from women with PCOS, and that is, will PCOS ever go away? Can I cure my PCOS? It's a common question, and I can understand why. It can be really scary to get the diagnosis of PCOS and not know what the future looks like. Today we're going to go on a journey to investigate this question, see how you can manage PCOS successfully, whether or not it can go away, and what does it all mean and what does it look like. If you're new around here, my name is Daphna Chazen. I'm a registered dietitian and I help women with PCOS reverse their symptoms without dieting, without cutting out any food, just by using science-backed nutrition and lifestyle changes. And believe me, you can absolutely use nutrition and lifestyle changes to manage PCOS successfully long-term. You're just gonna learn how to do it, and that's exactly what I teach women how to do. Let me know if you've ever had this experience. You're at the doctor's office and they just told you you have PCOS. Now, you know nothing about it, but all you know is that you've gone through years of getting dismissed by doctors, struggling with period problems, weight gain, acne, hair loss, and now you finally got a diagnosis, but your doctor isn't giving you any information about it or what this condition means, and they just say, it's going to be hard for you to get pregnant, so when you want to have a baby, come back and we'll see what we can do. Or, well, if you lost some weight, all your other problems will go away. Or here's a birth control pill. Take this, we'll see you in a year. No. Well, so you go home and you start Googling and researching on your own because you're a smart girl, but you're typing things like, will PCOS ever go away? Can I cure your PCOS? And you're feeling nervous and understandably stressed about what all of this means and what the future holds. And you're just wanting to know if this is a condition that can be cured, or were you just given a life sentence of infertility and struggle without the possibility of parole? Well, the truth is somewhere in the middle, and that's what we're going to break it down today. Now, I'm a straightforward kind of gal, so I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to tell you what things are like with PCOS, no BS involved. All right, so let's start by addressing this fundamental question. Can PCOS go away? The short answer is we currently don't have a cure for PCOS, but, and there's a big but here, make sure you stick around to the very end so you can understand the full answer to this question. Now, there are two possible reasons why we don't have a cure. First, the exact cause of PCOS is still a mystery. So without understanding the cause, finding a cure becomes significantly more challenging. The other thing is that PCOS manifests itself differently in different people. So everyone's PCOS is going to look slightly different and everyone's unique needs are different. So that kind of complicates things as far as coming up with a one-size-fits-all approach for treatment. However, what you can do is put your PCOS into remission. And remission means there's a big reduction in the severity of symptoms, the intensity at which they show up for you, or in other words, PCOS can be cured, but its symptoms can be fully reversed. And this is actually what happened to one of my clients, Jenny, inside my program, Reset Your PCOS. So when Jenny first joined, she was struggling. It really felt like PCOS has hijacked her body. She had no periods for several months. She was dealing with fatigue, weight gain, headaches, cravings, joint pain. She has been to multiple doctors, had extensive testing done, including food sensitivity testing and even stool testing. But no one was able to tell her what's going on or how to fix these problems or anything. And she just kind of, over time, accepted that this is what life with PCOS is like. But after she came into the program, she followed the protocol that we put out in there. She changed her diet and she was able to reverse all of these issues and experience major relief in 3 months. So she not only lost weight, but got rid of her headaches, her joint pain, her fatigue was gone, and she had tons of energy and her mood improved so much. Even though her PCOS couldn't be cured, meaning if she didn't keep up with these habits, she'd likely see many of them return. So PCOS is still there, but Jenny's been able to manage it to the point where it's no longer an issue, an active issue for her. And I think that's pretty big. So I'd say that nutrition is the best way to manage PCOS, and it's the closest thing that we have for a cure for the condition. It can truly eliminate most PCOS symptoms within a few short months. So here's what I want you to remember. Before you take up your doctor on that offer for birth control or metformin, try making a few simple changes to your eating, your movement, your sleep, and stress management routines and see what happens. And of course, I teach you exactly how to do all of that really easily inside the program, inside Reset Your PCOS. So make sure to check out the link below if you'd like to get some guidance, to get some help on your journey, and of course, have my support. You may actually forget that you have PCOS once you implement all of these changes, and you can come back to your doctor and say, look, I managed this on my own, which is what happened to my client, Melissa. She's been struggling with low estrogen, low progesterone. It's been several years since she had a regular period, and her doctor told her, listen, I think you're in menopause. But she was in her 30s and she knew something bigger was up because she was also gaining weight and feeling a lot of cravings and fatigue. And so she's another person who's been able to truly put the PCOS into remission and reverse those symptoms and have her cycle regulated inside Reset Your PCOS and really address the root causes of her issues, not just the surface solution, which is what her doctor was always telling her to do. And maybe your doctor is telling you the same thing, and that is take birth control and you'll have a bleed every month. You'll regulate your period. Well, that's not exactly how it works. And she knew that. And so I'm glad that she did, all the things that she needed to do in order to regulate her cycle. Okay, so I told you about my clients, Melissa and Jenny. And I told you that even though they weren't able to cure PCOS and make it completely go away, they were able to live with the condition in a way where it wasn't present in their day-to-day life. Their symptoms were reversed, PCOS was in remission, and their quality of life went way higher. So you're probably asking, well, what were those things that they did to get there? And the bottom line is that they really addressed the drivers and the hormones under the surface of their PCOS. But I'm going to help you get started today by sharing some simple principles for reversing PCOS. And trust me when I tell you, these are proven to work. They are no fail, guaranteed to work things that every person with PCOS should be working on. It doesn't matter what you're struggling with in terms of symptoms or when you were diagnosed, okay? The first thing is eating a blood sugar friendly diet, and that means that simply on your plate at every single meal, you're putting protein, produce, and fiber. The second thing is keeping insulin under control. You want to eat a consistent meal schedule. You want to start eating breakfast early, not have larger meals at night, and include healthy fats in every meal. Things like avocados, nuts and seeds, olives and olive oil. These are the things that are going to keep insulin at bay. Now, by the way, if you want more information or meal ideas, head on over to my Instagram where I share a lot of that, okay? The other thing is eating a minimally processed diet to reduce inflammation, getting enough natural light exposure, getting at least 7 hours of sleep at night, and having a movement routine that feels good to you. It doesn't have to be super complicated or super long or intense, but it's got to be consistent and doable, even when life gets busy. And we know life gets busy all the time. So we want to make sure you're moving your body, because when you move your body, your insulin levels are reduced. Your cells become more sensitive to insulin. They take it up from your bloodstream. And that is a good thing. That means less PCOS symptoms. Head on over to Instagram. I share a lot more specifics and meal ideas over there, so be sure to check it out. Now, all of these habits, whether they're related to food or movement or sleep, they have to be sustainable long term, because if they're too hard to stick with, as is the case with many diets like keto or cutting out gluten and dairy, you're not going to be able to keep up with them. And that is the point where PCOS comes back, right? Because if we're not able to keep up with our healthy habits, we're not going to be able to keep PCOS at bay. And that means it keeps popping up and new symptoms arise all the time. So you want to make sure that your habits are not too complicated, they're not too hard to sustain, and that there's something that you get excited about doing every single day. Even though PCOS is a lifelong chronic condition and it doesn't truly go away, practicing these habits that balance your hormones and address those drivers behind the symptoms can reverse PCOS. And I've seen it time and time again where women get to the point where PCOS is unnoticeable. They almost forget that they have PCOS, and sometimes they go back to their doctor and the doctor says, you don't have PCOS anymore. I want you to think about what that would look like. like. I want you to think about the positive upside, the impact that can have on your quality of life when you're no longer dealing with fatigue, with mood swings, with depression, with pain, things like joint pain or migraines. And not to mention, your self-esteem and confidence are skyrocketing. Can you imagine that? What life would be like? You can absolutely get to that point with the right plan and with some guidance. My clients are doing it every single day, and even though they're amazing, there's nothing special about them. You can absolutely do the same. So this is the kind of guidance I give you inside Reset Your PCOS. Go check it out if you're interested, and if you loved this episode and you want to continue learning how to manage PCOS successfully, be sure to subscribe, to like it, and to share it. And again, I share lots of helpful tips and resources of PCOS nutrition related to PCOS nutrition, as well as practical habits that keep you healthy and happy long term over here on my YouTube, on my podcast, and on Instagram. So I hope to see you in all of those places, and I'll meet you here again soon. Bye.